Hey gang, hope you're having an awesome day. This is a video about the 1.4 Desmos lab, Scott's workout. And I'm just going to talk through some of the problems. Everything that I show here should be correct. And we'll get right to it. So Scott has decided to add push-ups to his daily exercise routine. Shout out Scott, trying to better himself, get those gains. I see you. He's keeping track of the number of push-ups he completes each day in the bar graph below, which we see right here. On day one, he did 3 push-ups. So count them. 1, 2, 3. Scott is certain he can continue this pattern of increasing the number of push-ups each day. Okay, shout out Scott, trying to better himself, keep adding each day. Complete the table and graph below. So as mentioned right here, on day one, we had 3 push-ups done. Notice we're not talking about 0 day. On day 2, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right off the bat, one thing that we can talk about is our common difference. What do you think that is? What's our common difference? How far up did this jump? Hopefully you're saying 2. And for the end day, we just increased 1. So collectively, our common difference is just +2 over +1. So altogether, +2. It's important to know that as we move forward. And so I don't even have to count this anymore. I just know that I'm going to keep adding 2, because when you know your common difference, and if your end term just keeps adding 1, you just got it like that. 5 plus 2 gets you 7. Next one for day 4, 7 to 9. And then 9 to 11, of course, remembering that these are just adding 1. But I noticed that up here, I have this term for the 0 day. How do you think I can go backwards to get that? Well, think if we were always moving forward adding 2, we could go backwards and deduct 2 from 3, so just getting us 1. And I think it's nice to also visualize the 0 term. It's a thing that we haven't talked about in a context like this before, as far as the 0 day. The 0 day doesn't really make sense. We always think like, all right, today's the day. Today's the first day of my practice, in this case with push-ups. So going back to the 0 day seems kind of odd, but that's okay. And we've got that so far. The next question is, how many push-ups will Scott do on day 10? And then how many push-ups will Scott do on day N? All right, so we're starting to piece this together, eventually snowballing it to 10 days. You have the option to just keep drawing this out, for the 5th day, 6th day, 7th day, 8th day, but I think we're better than that. So let's break apart this work that's right here, because I think if we look closely, we can start to get our equation, or maybe think this out in words too, where no matter what, we're starting with 0. Starting with 1 push-up. We add how many push-ups every day? Hopefully you're saying 2. So we've practiced working with this in words. We're kind of doing the same thing here. If we started to make an equation based off of this, no matter what, we're starting with that 1 single push-up for the 0 day, which again is a weird concept to grasp, but as we move forward, we're always going to be going backwards, trying to find what's the very, very beginning versus what's day 1. Okay, so we are starting with this 1 push-up, seen here, and then we add 2 push-ups. So this 2 is going to represent our push-ups. And then what can we use for the number of days? Hopefully you're saying N. I think N's going to work just fine. And then this is all together going to get us the number of push-ups, which if we use function notation, we're going to call f of n. So if we were aiming for day 10, we could plug that in here for n. So we could have 1 plus 2 versions of that 10. This is 1 plus 20, so 21. Pretty simple there. And so as we move forward, how many push-ups will Scott do on day n? We already kind of answered this. We've always been trying to push towards an equation based off of the table or from the visual or the context. So on day n, it's just 1 plus 2n. If we were being asked to sketch this out, I'll do a quick one on here. So recall that we're always starting with one push-up in this case, and we're always adding 2. So that gets us to 3. And the cycle is just going to keep continuing. Which is nice because we don't have to keep drawing out that pattern with the blocks. We can just trust our process, shout out Sixers, that it's going to keep going just like this. Where this was 3, this was 5, this was 7, 9, 11, 13. 13 reasons why you got to keep this pattern going. 17 in there, 19 in here, 21. So much fun. Is that day 10? Ooh, let's check. Hey, shout out, I was right. So on the n side, this was measuring the number of days. And on the f of n side, this was the number of push-ups. We talked previously about titling our axes, so we're doing that here. Maybe pause the video, make sure you got this all down before we move forward. Then going to the recursive equation, we're using words to describe what's going on. We need to know how many push-ups were done the day before. So this is going to use f of 1 for an example. So we said that at f of 1, there was 3. And then we're always taking our previous, which we can call f of n minus 1. Then we're always adding 2 to that. In words, we already did this on the previous bit, but I'll write it again, that our current equals our previous plus 2. Then this moves to the explicit, which we already got because at the very beginning on day 0, we said that we were starting with 1 and that we're always adding 2 depending on the day n. So 1 plus 2n works there. This function notation we've seen before, but anytime we write f of parentheses n minus 1, that's really recalling the previous term. And then the plus 2. I mean, hopefully you see like this is mapping out, where like the current we usually denote as f of n. Previous we denote as f of n minus 1. Plus 2 is just along for the ride. Allie is going to do 15 every day. She says she does more push-ups than Scott. Is Allie correct? Well, I'm not sure. Let's make a quick table about this. I'm going to use X and Y to talk about Allie. And for Scott, I'm going to do N and F of N. We already had a bit of the table done up here. So I'm actually just going to continue from 6 and go to 7. Because I got it like that. I mean, these are already filled in for us. So as soon as I get there, how about this? Boom, done. So on Scott's situation for day 6, he's going to have 13 push-ups done. For day 7, add 2 to that, get us 15. And then for Allie, she's doing 15 push-ups every day. So on day 1, she just does 15. On day 2, just 15. Pretty much every day, it's just 15. And we're not adding these, so keep that in mind. So it gets to day 7, she's still doing 15. Okay, cool flex. On day 8, she's still doing 15. But we see a tipping point around Scott's work on what day? At what point does Scott potentially have more push-ups than Allie? Have a coffee break and think about it. What do you think? Hopefully you're saying day 7 was the real breaking point, because now Scott's going for 17. Check him out. So on day 8, Scott has more push-ups every day than Allie. So she says she does more push-ups than Scott. Is Allie correct? Allie is correct. Correct. Up until which day? Day 7. When they do the same amount. The same amount of push-ups. Because then after that, Scott's doing 2 more of the 15, so he's doing 17. So after day 7, Scott daily, not with collectively, but daily, Scott's doing more push-ups. So shout out Allie for testing her thinking, saying, you know what, I'm going to do just 15 every day. I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to get this done 15 every day. Easy. I'm not just going to add 2 like Scott, but we see pretty clearly that on day 8, so after day 7, there's a change in the tide where Scott's doing more. So I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.